Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. In just a bit, I'm gonna go walk my happy butt over to my futon because I'm checking out the new Shudder original, The Sacrifice Game. So what is the plot of this movie? Well, it's about some girls at a girls' boarding school who cannot go home on the holidays, so they're stuck there staying over. Much like the film I watched earlier, The Holdovers, except this one isn't going to be filled with life lessons and self-growth. This one looks like it's going to be mostly survival, because while they're staying at this boarding school with no one really around, wouldn't you know it, but a cult of weirdos show up and start murdering folks. So it does not look like it's going to be a very cheerful holiday for these young ladies. Now, I don't know much about this film, honestly, going into it. I literally Googled movies that were being released this weekend because there wasn't a whole lot coming out in theaters. I'd already gone and seen The Boy and the Heron, so I didn't really have a whole lot. And I'm like, what's going on the old streaming services? So I found this, watched a trailer, and was like, okay, The Holdovers, but there's some murdering going on. This has got me intrigued, and I do love a holiday-themed horror film, as I've made very well known if you're watching my holiday special that's going on right now. Well, anyways, guys, it's enough of me sitting here jibber-jabbing and yammering, because my good old cat Haku, of course, as always, is waiting on me to walk my happy ass over there and plop down on that futon, because he really loves a holiday horror film also. So it's time for me to go sit over there and enjoy my Nutcracker Ale. Yes, I'm really living it up for the holiday right now. I'll be back in just a moment to tell you if I liked or didn't like The Sacrifice Game. Welcome back. Just getting done watching The Sacrifice Game, and guys, I really enjoyed this movie. I had a lot of fun with this film from beginning to end. So let's get this started, shall we? I don't really have any negatives, so we're just moving into the positives. So the first thing I want to talk about is the pacing of this film. Now, the movie itself is not very long. It just clocks in at around an hour and 39 minutes, I want to say. And it also is beautifully paced. At no time did I feel that this film got draggy or slow. Sure, there's moments where everything kind of slows down for a little bit so you can have a little dialogue between the actors, the characters and all, get a little character development, a little story development, and then boom, right back into all of the craziness. And this movie does an excellent job of keeping you wondering what's going on at all times. The description that I gave of this film, just stick with that. Don't seek out any more knowledge about the film other than what I told you at the beginning of this. It basically is go in thinking that this film is a home invasion film. Just go in with that and enjoy what you watch, because believe me, you're going to probably end up being as surprised as I am. And then, even when you think that the film is done throwing you for loops, it just keeps going. It keeps throwing stuff at you, but not in a way that seems stupid or meaningless or useless. It just keeps kind of layering itself to where you're like, okay, sure, throw that in there, why not? And it's okay, it works. The elements of this film are great. There is this whole point where it seems like the filmmakers are going to go with this whole aesthetic of the 70s, because the movie does take place in the 70s, and for moments it seems like they're going to kind of do the Holdovers thing. I know I keep bringing that movie up, but it has a lot of similarities. Well, it also takes place during the 70s too, but that film went with the whole, like, making the movie itself seem like a movie that was made in the 70s. This one doesn't necessarily do that fully. It doesn't really dive into that hardcore. It does have some really great elements and moments that seem like homages to 70s horror. There's some really great camera angles that are used. There's an intro to the film that really knocks it out of the ballpark. But in no time do I feel like these were elements that were made in order to make the film completely feel like a movie that was made in the 70s. The film does still feel like a very modern film. That being said, I don't have anything else really to say about this movie other than that it really delivered in the scares. There are some actual funny moments in this movie, and the cast does a very good job delivering on a story that just keeps building on itself as the movie progresses. So this is a very solid, check it out if you don't have Shudder. I mean, it's not a real expensive service, and if you're a fan of horror, I say grab Shudder and check out this movie because it was a pretty good one. Alright guys, thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you could do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.